Welcome to Pioneer Point. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Mary Elizabeth. Sumner County is considering its first charter school application, but the first reaction has not been promising for the proposed school. Delray Education applied for Founders Classical Academy in Hendersonville. The school would be a K-12 program with a focus on classical education, but an oversight panel gave the application the thumbs down. The applicant has a month to correct any deficiencies in the application.
Meanwhile, here at Vol State, Leah Price says the search is on for the student leaders.
Coming fall, there's going to be more options for students to participate in student government. I interviewed Hannah Crowell on the insights of SGA and why it's important for our Vol State students.
I am the Campus Activity Board representative. We work very closely with SGA. We are a faction that focuses primarily on campus activities, so free food, coloring pages, activity days where there's board games and chances to mingle with your fellow students. We're heavily involved in SGA with planning these events. Obviously, SGA plans their own events as well. SGA's events have to be approved by the student body, but CAB is a free organization. We just decide what we're going to do, and that's what we do.
That sounds amazing.
Yes.
So what do you think are the most beneficial aspects of student government and specifically your line of work in SGA?
So what's beneficial for the people who are part of the executive board and part of campus activity board is you do get a book stipend and or scholarship depending on your position. Next year I hope to take the CAB chair position, which gets full tuition. So even if you're a Tennessee Promise student, they will give you that money. So even though it's paid for, they'll still give you as much as your classes are worth.
Yeah.
And so that's obviously really good for your bank account, but for your socializing, you get to work so much more closely with the faculty, with your student body, and you get to make people smile, and that's beneficial because a lot of people are really stressed, and we bring joy, you know. We cart out the stuffed animals and the free food.
For sure. And that actually brings me to my next question. Why do you think that having these campus events is so important for the students?
It gives the students a chance to slow down, to enjoy their day, to have something to look forward to. College can be really hard and stressful, and we strive to make everyone's experience at college as easy, as fun as possible.
I just want to ask you how you personally kind of came to find out about student government and what the things are that you like the most about it.
Check your student email. I got an email from Tabitha Sherrill. She's the main advisor for SGA and CAB. Mm-hmm. And I was part of a student government in middle school, and I really wanted to be a part of another one. And so I sent in my application, and I've been running with it ever since.
That's amazing. Well, what you guys do is definitely amazing for the students. I personally know as a Vol State student that the events have definitely helped me to just slow down, take a break, and then be able to get right back on it and focus on my classes. So we appreciate you for what you do. So, thank you guys.
The City of Gallatin is rounding up crews to do a kayak cleanup on April 30th at Lock 4 Park. Volunteers will hop in kayaks to paddle around the lake to clean up. Kayaks will be available on a first-come, first-served basis. The cleanup starts at 9 a.m.
If you're looking to be in the know, Xavier Williams says that Settlers is looking for you.
Volunteer State Community College has many student-led activities all across campus. One of the most intriguing lies in a small room on the second floor of the SRB building. I sat down with Mr. Clay Scott to learn more about the Settler.
What is the main purpose of the Settler?
Well, the Settler is the student newspaper of Volunteer State. It's run by students, it's edited by students, it's written by students, and it's the only publication that is completely student-oriented. And I'm just the advisor. I don't make any decisions. All the decisions are up to the students, and it's strictly run by students. Every now and then they'll come to me and have a question or a concern, and that's when I share or advise them at that time.
If there was students who wanted to get involved in this, how would they go about doing that?
Well, actually, you could send an email to me, clay.scott@volstate.edu, or you could send an email to the.settler@volstate.edu.
Where does the students get the ideas for their stories that they cover, if you have any insight about that?
Well, they use the campus calendar frequently. They also listen to what other students are talking about, their concerns or things that have happened. And actually, We have some students that are good friends with faculty and staff, and they'll talk to them, and they may share some ideas with them as well. Also, if they want to come up with their own ideas, that's fine, just out of the clear blue, based on current events or things that involve all state students. I have no censorship or prior restraint whatsoever.
That's what I was gonna say.
No,
I was like, is there
no.
anything where you can,
No.
where you just go, yeah, maybe that's not a good idea?
Probably 90% of the time, I don't know what the article is until I read it online.
That's
So that's the law. It's the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And college students have that right, freedom of the press. And no, I very rarely see something. During our meetings on Mondays, they'll throw out story ideas and stuff, and then I have an idea. But now, the full story, I have no idea until I read it online.
Y'all recently added AP to your papers. I've heard that you're very big on that. So what can readers find with this added service?
Well, of course, it's still going to be the Vol State student newspaper, and we're still going to have Vol State news. But we also want students to be able to receive the most recent information internationally, nationally, state, and sports, and make it sort of a one-stop shop for students, because I know they run to 15 different websites to find out stuff, and we feel like if we can make the settler.online the one place they can go where they can get the, what's going on in Nashville, or what's going on in Memphis, or what's going on in Ukraine, or whatever it may be, at just one site, then hopefully we'll drive some more readership to that site.
As heard, Mr. Scott holds this paper near and dear to his heart. However, he will take no credit and insists this is all possible due to the hard work of the Vol State students who chase these stories. One thing's for sure, things are looking up for the Settler. I'm Xavier for Pioneer Point.
Where will you find Pioneer Sluggers this week? Here's a look at sports.
Vol State's baseball visits Motlow this weekend for a trio of games. Friday's game starts at 2 p.m., then there's a doubleheader on Saturday with the first game starting at noon. The Pioneers have a 27-17 record so far. In the meantime, UT's Christian Moore has been named the SEC's Freshman of the Week. Moore's two big hits propelled Tennessee to a comeback win over Florida last weekend. The Nashville Sounds have the best record in the International League at 13-5. They're in St. Paul through this weekend. That's your Pioneer Point Sports Roundup. I'm Reagan Smith.
It's been a pretty up and down month for spring weather. Here's a look at your forecast.
We're looking at cloudy skies for today and tomorrow and a chunk of the week. The high today hits 70 as some sun tries to squeeze through. Tonight we'll have showers likely, especially after midnight, the low being 52. If you're heading into the Smokies, it's going to get a bit bumpy. A few severe thunderstorms are possible today with winds up to 35 miles per hour. We're also in the thick of allergy season. Trees are pushing out pollen, so if you're severely allergic, you might want to stick to the indoors. Also, make sure you wipe off your shoes and wash your clothes when you've been outside in the fresh air for a while. I'm Coleman Bonds, and that's your Pioneer Forecast.
That wraps up this edition of Pioneer Point. I'm Mary Elizabeth.
And I'm Kelsey. Thanks for watching.